I was going to title this video "The Most Neglected Maintenance Item." But the more I thought about it, I began to realize, well, if it's neglected, it's something you have to know about. And I think a lot of the problems with this particular maintenance item is that people don't know. They don't even know that the part exists. So let me just share this with you. I got a bunch of filters here, right here, pile of them. These are not engine air filters. These are cabin air filters. They're for your personal comfort, not for the engine. And you're looking at my own 1990 Mercedes 300 SL. And this was probably one of the first, it may not be the first, but one of the first cars that came with a cabin air filter, and it was located right here. And if you open the hood of a car like this, you'd look and think, well, you know, I don't know there's a filter in there. But take a look at this filter. When I got this car, I pulled this filter out, and it's the original OE filter. This was the filter that was in the car when it was delivered in 1990. And I thought, wow, you know, how come nobody knew? And we're talking major dirty in here. We're not talking just minor filth. So the reason Mercedes began to put these cabin air filters in these cars was for the comfort of the occupants. You know, you get to breathe fresh air. And this was probably just an anomaly, but I want to show you over the years since I got this car, and I started getting into the newer Mercedes. Now, it's not just Mercedes, but from the late 90s, early 2000s, you know, cabin air filters started showing up in a lot of cars. And I have never pulled a clean one out of any car I've worked on. A friend of mine who owns a 2001 Suburban just a few weeks ago came to me and said, hey, you know, I think there's something wrong with my blower motor. I'm not getting very much blower speed coming out of the vents. And I asked him, I said, well, have you checked your cabin air filters? He goes, what? What are those? And he didn't know what cabin air filters were, and of course, he didn't even know where they were located and whether or not they'd ever been changed. So we got some cabin air filters, and look what we pulled out. I mean, I kept this on plastic because I just wanted to show you. And this is so typical. I mean, these are the original cabin air filters. Okay? 14 years old. Just look at how wonderfully clean these are, and just think how nice it is breathing the air coming through these wonderful filters. You know, I think I'm trying to make a point here, but this is something else. I can't believe it. You know, it's every car that's like this. That's probably not as bad as this one, but look at this. This came out of a early 90s Mercedes. See that? And these came out of a 2002 Mercedes. Look at the amount of junk in these filters. Once again, I bet you some of these you'll see a year on them, but I'm convinced, you know, those were 10 years old, and those were, you know, original. Here's another one. Look at this one. Am I making a point yet? Okay, I'm probably being a little redundant here, but let me tell you. You see why I'm shooting this video? I want to help you out. If you have a newer model car, there's something that you should do. So from my own personal experience, this is why I chose to call this the most forgotten maintenance item. Because I think a lot of people, a lot of owners, may not even know that their car has a cabin air filter, and they may not know that it needs to be changed once a year. You know, this is a great thing in these new cars. It will help to pull the pollens if you have allergy problems. The smell, you'll be amazed at how much fresher the air smells when you change your cabin air filter. And these need to be changed once a year, not every 5 years, not every 10 years. Or in the case of this car, every 20 years. So I highly recommend. It doesn't matter whether you own a Mercedes, whatever car you own, is I would recommend find out if your car has a cabin air filter. And generally you can find a video. You can find a video on YouTube that'll explain how to, get in there. They're usually located under the dash. Some of them are located out in the engine compartment like this car, but you need to find out where it's located and how to get to it. Sometimes the owner's manual will tell you that. But once you find it out, go ahead and order one. These aren't expensive. Usually they're, $15, $20, $25 at the most. And replace it. Do it yourself. You don't need to go get a mechanic to replace your cabin air filters. And when you order one, order two, because you're going to replacing it in the year. And like the owner of that Chevrolet Suburban who reported back, now he only has to turn the fan on half speed, and at full speed it literally blows him out of the car. So this will make a huge improvement, folks, and let's not forget the one in your car. Okay, I've done some other videos on cabin air filters. They're mostly, they're all on Mercedes. I'll put links in the show more description below. If you have a Mercedes, want to see if I have a cabin air filter replacement video that covers your particular car.